Hey guys, how are you? It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL Inspirations for Your Life. First of all, if you are watching us tonight and you're new, just pull out your smartphone, launch your camera app, point over the QR code like so, touch the yellow lips. You'll get my link tree. If you are listening to us on the podcast, then you can visit us by going to Believe, Believe, me, M-E, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com. All right, let's get right into the master topic, which we'll do in just a second. I want to thank you guys for definitely popping in, checking out the show, and being with us. I also want to thank you if you've been coming back, friends, colleagues, associates, partners, and just supporters. Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. And if you're coming back, whether that's 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 12 midnight, 12 noon, or whatever time you watch, I really do appreciate you making the choice to have inspirations for your life a part of your daily day. All right, so let's get right into the master topics. Everybody ready? I hope everyone's had a great Easter. And if you're still celebrating Passover, I hope you're having a good one. And so let's get into the master topic. Here it is, everyone. All right, so first of all, we are in series 2, which means we're in year 2. I can't believe that already. We're in show number 15, and we're in episode number 3. All right, and we're talking about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. That's what we're talking about, because a lot of people, they think their motivation should only be extrinsic. But really, what causes the extrinsic things is the intrinsic things. The extrinsic things are great, but they just don't always get us to where we want to be. So it can confuse some people, and that's understandable. So there are basically a few parts to intrinsic motivation. Autonomy. What the heck, John, is autonomy? So autonomy is something we hear about, right? We hear about it a lot, but you know what it means? Well, autonomy is really the right or condition of self governing, okay, where things can basically run on their own. And so we become intrinsically motivated because we want to become more autonomous, self governing, okay? The other type of intrinsic motivation is mastery. We want to get better at what we're doing, either for ourselves or for others. It could be advancing in a language, it could be learning a new skill or brushing up an existing skill, whatever it is. And so, mastery is an intrinsic motivator. And the better that we are able to comprehend and do something better, we're said that we are able to master that. Now, mastery is not something you just look at and bam, you're just going to walk away. It doesn't work like that. Just like if you were going to learn another language, I doubt you would learn that language in 5 minutes. It takes time. And by taking time, we're able to apply principles to what you already know so we can latch onto that great foundation. The other thing about intrinsic motivation is purpose. As human beings that we all are, we do things for a purpose. Now, you might say, hey, I did it because I want to make money. I get that you did it because you want to make money, but really, that's not the motivator. It is and it isn't. The real motivator is what you're going to do with that money. Maybe it's freedom. Okay. Maybe it's the feeling of freedom. Maybe it's the fact that now your life has a purpose. See, these are things that go beyond standard extrinsic motivation. And so when learners want to add something to their tool belt, many of them will go for the extrinsic side. Why? Because it's glitzy. It has all the fame. It has everything that we would think we want. And I'm not saying you don't want it. Don't misunderstand me. I'm saying that in order to appreciate the material or the extrinsic, we need to first have intrinsic. That makes sense, doesn't it? If you want to learn a new language, why do you want to learn that language? Because I want to get better at German. I want to get better at Italian. Why? Because when I travel, I want to feel as though I can carry on a great conversation. I want to, let's say, have dialogue with many of the local people when I travel. And if I don't have the language cemented under my belt, then I'm going to get frustrated in what they're telling me, and they're going to get frustrated when I'm telling them. Not because they want to, but because they don't understand the communication. They don't understand why I'm doing something. So before you do something in life, okay, I don't care if it's painting your house, if it's learning a new subject, if it's applying for a new job, why are you doing this? And I know what you're all going to say. Well, to make the house look nicer. Okay. Or I'm getting a new job because I want to make more money. Okay, but what's the reason? I want to have more freedom. I want to feel bliss. See, these are intrinsic things. Again, when we talk about things that are inside our body, things we feel, they're intrinsic motivators. The mistake that most people have, whether they're business owners, whether they people that work for companies, they take the carrot and stick approach, where the employer or the manager holds that carrot dangling in front of them. Like, okay, if you do this, we're going to get you this pay, or we're going to give you these days off. Now, that's nice, and that might work for a short period of time. But I'm here to tell you that it's going to demotivate your team the longer you do it. Now, maybe not right away, but it will cause them to lose interest. Once they lose interest in the carrot, in the stick that you're holding there, now what are you going to do? You're taught to motivate everybody extrinsically, and you never did any intrinsic motivation. So, how do you suddenly shift? Let's pretend for a moment that you are putting on, let's say, a production where you have to read maybe a sales presentation, okay, or closing quarterly numbers, PowerPoint, etc. When you give that presentation, okay, and you get that feeling from your boss, from your colleagues, from associates, from clients, that intrinsic motivation of how you're going to feel, that's what's motivating you. Why do students want to get a great grade? Because they want to feel that A. They want to know that they can get a great job. Now, you might say, John, is that extrinsic? It's not, because we're talking about the feeling. We're not talking about the actual job and the benefits from the job. We're still talking about the feeling. The feeling. So you're giving this presentation and you feel great afterwards. That's an intrinsic motivator. Another intrinsic motivator is the fact that people might be wanting to do certain things with you, right? They might want to do certain things with you. And I will tell you that this is a very, very interesting thing. I mean, a very, very interesting thing. Because if you understand that where we're going is not about the reward that is extrinsic, it's intrinsic. It's intrinsic. Yes, it is intrinsic. And so by being intrinsic, that is what is going to make a difference in your life. Okay. That's what's going to make the difference in your life. And by making that difference in your life, you might say, John, how can I be motivated extrinsically? And it really comes down to the fact that you can. But people for a long time didn't know what intrinsic motivation was. They had no idea what intrinsic motivation is. I mean, no idea at all. So, what do they do? What do they do? I would tell you that it's about understanding something first. Okay. It's about understanding something first. And if we understand something first, then our life can change. Our life can change if we do what we're supposed to do. But if we don't do what we're supposed to do, then how is our life ever going to change? How is our life ever going to change? It's not, because you're so glued to what would be, what would be. And what would be to you is all of the psychological things, okay? The psychological things. And you might be saying, hey, John, that sounds really cool. But in the same breath, are you motivated intrinsically or extrinsically? The things that you're motivated on intrinsically are going to make a big, big difference in your life. I mean, that's just a real thing. They are going to make a huge, huge difference in your life. Pretty cool, right? So if we understand that motivation starts with intrinsic first, we'll be more successful because this type of reward is one that comes from within. If you did your presentation so that you could make more money, that would be an extrinsic reward. Now, that might be something that you're going to get from the presentation, but if you're doing it because I want people to understand, or I'm doing it because I want to feel great afterwards, that's intrinsic. Why do people get so confused about it? I think they get confused because of where they are in life. Where they are in life. Yeah. So where they are in life is what makes that, let's say, what makes that change, right? That's what makes that change. And by having that change, it's pretty amazing. It's absolutely pretty amazing. And so what I want to share with you is that intrinsic motivation is where we need to start. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Feeling, things that are inside our body, right? Intrinsic motivators. Intrinsic motivators. That's where we're at. If we can understand intrinsic motivation, then we can make a great big jump. We can make a great big jump. And so by making that great big jump, a lot's going to happen. A lot. But if you're going for what we can only see, then that's a problem. Only what we can see. Go for what we can feel. Go for the things inside our body. Those rewards are going to be much more meaningful than any reward that anybody will give you outside. Does that mean money is not important? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that getting to that material state is going to be a lot easier when we approach and first acknowledge the intrinsic reward, because the extrinsic rewards are always going to happen. But when we have intrinsic rewards, It's like they just sort of happen naturally. Does that make sense to everyone? All right. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic evening right here, Monday, April 10th, 2023. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel, comment below, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates, share this out with everyone you know on social media. Go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space MRLY Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a savory dessert. Either way, we'll be grateful for those pennies of dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content to inspire you to change your life. Are you guys ready? Let's start using intrinsic motivation and create magic. And then our extrinsic motivation will be a lot easier. Have yourself a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone.